How did you know? That's the question that often comes up when I speak with individuals considering a proposal. I can still recall the internal conflict that occurs as I try to hear my heart, my mind, my best friend's thoughts, and my parents' opinions and the world's ideas all at once. This is what anxious nights are made of, my friend. I personally believe that you should not get engaged or married if you feel stuck in the relationship, i.e., we've been together too long, I can't end it now. If you're feeling like there's lacking in your relationship, whether that's understanding, discussion, connecting, gentleness, if you feel pressure to take the next step but personally are not at peace with the decision, if you think this is your only chance for marriage, or if you have said to yourself, he/she/ things will change once we're married, the issue will get better, they promised. During my time processing the idea of marriage while dating Amp, there were a few questions I always fell back to, so perhaps they will also help you sift through the endless opinions and your heart and your spirit's voice will speak a little louder. Number 1. Do your belief systems line up? This is by far one of the most important questions to check in with. As much as we like to think that a relationship can overcome anything, there are certain things that can be brutally destructive and even harm us. Within this, think about values. What are values you are not willing to compromise on? I.e., if you value time with family while they only believe they should be seen on holidays, will it become an area of resentment and tension? The same applies if you feel quality time should be at the core of your relationship, while they think parties and buddies take higher priority. Also look at faith. I once heard that money and religion are the top 2 reasons for divorce. I don't know how accurate the statement is or how the research studies were conducted, but I have seen these 2 destructively play out in relationships. If one of you believes in God and the other one does not believe God is a crucial part of everyday living, you're setting yourself up for a lack in spiritual intimacy and overall support and understanding. I wholeheartedly believe you must be on the same page spiritually if you're walking into marriage. This is not to say you must be at the same level unless that is your desire. There is nothing wrong if one person is newer to their walk with God, but you must be on the same path. Be not unequally yoked. Remember 2 Corinthians 6:14. Finances. Are you a saver while they're a free spender? Do you carry large debt while they have their own savings and everything set towards a dream family home? Do you abuse loans and credit cards while they're against the use of them? Expenses cannot be hidden and debt cannot be ignored. It is wise to sit and discuss your financial plans for repaying debt and managing the expenses prior to planning a wedding. It may sound simple, but this can actually be a deal breaker for many. Number 2. Can I picture life with them in 10 years and am I happy? A lot can change in 10 years. Heck, 24 hours. When you picture yourself 10 years down the road, do you see yourself with the same person? Do you see your partner walking alongside you towards dreams and goals? Or is there a little part of you that finds it hard to picture the 2 of you happily living out your goals? If you cannot picture yourself trusting your partner with your child's well-being or living out your dreams with them, sit and dig a little deeper into why that is how you feel. This is actually a big red flag that you should not be ignoring. Sometimes our mind sees things more rationally than our heart does, and it is wise to listen. Number 3, can I picture myself raising a family with them? This question is way beyond happy family portrait, the picture we all have in our head. Think about your parenting styles. Do you have the same child-rearing values and beliefs? Parenting structure. Who will be the stay-at-home parent? Will your child go to daycare? If you have a career and you're career-oriented, have you discussed a return to work as more children enter the picture? Financial perspectives. Do you both agree on the activities you want to invest into for your children, i.e., does one of you want to spend enough money for one sport while the other one wants to spend $600 on dance, $800 on hockey, $200 on piano lessons? Do you want them raised in a public system, private school, at home? Will you vaccinate them? All these things you have to take into account. There can be a lot of conflict if you are on completely different pages when it comes to how you will raise your children and the lifestyle you want for them. It is great to dream together about the bigger picture, but don't forget to discuss the smaller details. Number 4, Do you respect their family and do you see yourself being part of it? As much as you may love your partner, you must also think about the family you are marrying into. Every family will have their drama, that's a given. Can you live with it? If your dream is to be best friends with a sister in law, can you live with being disliked? If your dream is to be a man of a house, can you live with your father in law seeing you as less than that? If you're already facing conflict with your in laws, can you live with that situation were not to change at all in the future? As much as we can place boundaries for family in our marriage, there is still great interaction that takes place with in laws. Unless you live an ocean away from them, and there can still be hardship in that, consider what family time may look like long term. This question can actually also be applied to your partner's friends. Number 5. Are there warning flags you're ignoring? Warning flags are the little areas of doubt and concern that we often hush and put aside. Does your partner have an unresolved issue you don't want to live with, i.e., spending habit, anger, dishonesty, their approach to an illness? As much as we like to think that things will change or that they will change because they promised, if you have not seen active improvement in the behavior causing concern, I do not see it as wise to move into marriage. Why? Because when you say yes and I do, you're saying yes to the person they are in that moment and not the person you hope they will become in the future. If you cannot say yes to the specific behavior for the rest of your life, then this is not the right time to be planning a wedding. Consider speaking to a therapist or a reputable mentor about your concerns and seek help in making the necessary changes for a healthier future together. Number 6, do your dreams and desires line up? I am 100% a visionary, while Anth loves comfort and stability. Yeah, yikes is right. However, during our many discussions, we fell back to the same realization. Neither of us had an issue with each other's dreams because there was freedom in our approach. We would seek the stability Anth desires while enjoying the flexibility to allow me the freedom to develop my more adventurous goals. If one of you wants to move across the ocean to pursue a career, but the other cannot see themselves ever living away from family, there will be resentment in either final decision. I'm not saying you must both desire the same thing, but there must be enough similarity that neither of you feels robbed of their future or values. And number 7, what do you feel when you put excitement and stress aside? I had a lot of stressors around my engagement and my wedding. There were many instances where I wanted to walk out because the burdens I carried felt so heavy and exhausting. Some days I honestly had difficulty finding joy in the process, while other days I walked around on cloud 9. I could have easily thrown my hands up and quit, but every time I came before God with an aching heart, I felt nothing but peace. Stand steadfast in your relationship would softly echo in my mind on the stormier days, and there were many. Likewise, I have heard stories of couples being so caught up in excitement of families planning a wedding that it was not until last minute that they sat to truly listen to their spirit and realize that it was not the right decision for them. Take time to quietly sit by yourself and write out what your heart feels and what your spirit senses about your decisions outside of all the excitement and stress. If you give God room to move, He will guide you through answering the tough questions with clarity. At the end of the day, 2 Corinthians 6:14 is at the core of my advice. If you are unequally yoked in the core areas that make an individual, whether that's spiritually, personal values, and life goals, you are setting yourselves up for a higher degree of argument, resentment, and incompatibility. Your marriage should be about a partnership where you both give and take, a team approach to walking forward in life towards your dreams. Like yoked oxen, if one partner is pulling in the opposite direction or not working to pull their weight, you will remain stagnant or you will walk in circles your whole life. It will result in one of you giving up on your desires and living a less fulfilled life, which is likely to place strain on your marriage and create a conflict-filled environment for your family. I know it is not always easy to ask the very questions that could end your relationship, but I believe it is better to face that fear before committing your life to a less than compatible match. Regardless of how attractive you find them and how much you love them, letting someone find a better suitor is the best way you could ever love them. Did you have other questions you found helpful during your engagement consideration? Share your thoughts on a comment below. Are you all in and ready to plan the big day? Check out my wedding planning page.